Yes, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is that time. And don't act like you don't know what I mean, because every time, it's our time.
Hey guys, welcome to the 17th Street Podcast from the Niagara Falls Boys and Girls Club, where youth share their voices, ideas, and creativity. Real stories,
real conversation
from our community.
Thanks for listening.
Let's get started. And don't forget to like, subscribe,
and follow. Here we go.
Hi, welcome to 17th Street Podcast. My name is Caroline, your host. And these are who I'm joined by today.
Say your name. It's not me. My name's Emma.
I'm Stella.
I'm Gigi.
Oh, and today we're talking about a 504. Okay. What's your view on 504, Gigi?
They're a federal necessity for people with special needs and disorders, and I think that they're very important and very disrespected by most staff at schools.
Okay, what about you, Stella?
I think that 504s are very important, and they should be further respected and noticed by teachers and read more often, and instead of just being assumed to be because of a mental disability, also because of, like, I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, move on now.
Okay, what about you, Emma?
I actually don't know what a 504 is. Can you tell me?
Does anyone want to explain it?
Sure.
I will.
Okay, Stella.
So a 504, me, my sister, and my other sister all have one. It's basically for kids who have experienced a mental disability or have experienced high test anxiety. So it can give you extensions on tests, it can give you access to your phone, and it can do things like give you privileges and access to things other kids might not need.
They're federal accommodations that you can set up if you have any kind of, like, a disability or a disorder, or just general issues with school. Like, some people need, like, project extensions and requirements to not present in front of people.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Stella, you said that you and your sisters have one. What is yours like?
So mine, it accommodates me. It helps me with tests. It gives me extension on projects. It also gives me more time. It gives me the option to leave the room for a test. It gives me access to my mom anytime I want. And it's mostly made to help me focus and make sure that I get the same education as everyone else around me.
How about you, Gigi?
I liked that statement. I don't think want is a good term. It's for needs, necessities.
Okay.
So, mine helps me with, I have a very big problem with deadlines, and so I get extensions on projects, and I'm not required to present in front of classes. And I'm allowed to call my mother whenever I need, and I'm allowed to walk out of the classroom if I feel upset or anxious.
Okay. Emma, would you ever consider getting a 504 if you needed one?
No.
Okay. My 504 is basically that I can fidget with a small fidget toy that's not distracting, or I can call my mom whenever I need, and I can also have extended time periods. That's just... Okay, Gigi, is there anything you want to add on your 504?
Well, there's nothing on my 504, but I think that teachers need to be educated more on why 504s are needed, because I feel like some of my teachers think that 504s are just a way to get out of doing the work.
How about you, Stella?
A lot of my teachers have treated my 504 like it was some sort of excuse. And they also have acted like I'm just lazy and I don't focus enough in class. But I get good grades because I have that 504, because I have access to my mom when I'm anxious, and I have access to extra test time when the test is too hard. It's a needed thing for me, and teachers need to be like, they need to actually read it instead of just skimming over it and acting like they know.
Okay. How was your experience in your class with the 504, Stella?
So, from my experiences, one of my accommodations is that teachers not yell because of my PTSD, and a lot of the teachers still yell. And my one teacher did this thing where she had you write down a piece of paper what bothered you about her and what she could do to improve. And I always put not yell. And she said, I'm not yelling at you. And just because she's not yelling at me doesn't mean that it's not still triggering. So a lot of the teachers think that if they're not yelling directly at me, that it's okay. But every time I wrote not yell, she's like, I'm not yelling at you, I'm not yelling at you, I'm not yelling at you. And it just doesn't help the case because she's still yelling when it's on my 504 to not yell.
Okay, how about you, Gigi?
I have problems with people snatching things out of my hand because I get scared pretty easily. And I had this one teacher who she tried to snatch a computer out of my hand and then continued to hit me. But, like, she thought that my 504 was unnecessary. And she said that I, quote unquote, didn't look aggravated when it said anxious instead of aggravated. So I went to the bathroom and I called my mom. So she got the school, like the person at the front desk, to come and get me and took me to the principal's office where the principal literally backed me up.
Okay. Okay,
What are your experiences, Caroline?
my experiences are pretty good. My teacher this year especially, she wanted to add snapping on there because I snap a lot. So my experiences are good. But one teacher, she wouldn't let me get water, so I had to call my mom for her to bring me some water because it was the beginning of the day. She wouldn't let me call my mom, so that was the only time that it really happened.
So, when did y'all's 504 start?
In 4th grade, after we moved, we were in 3rd grade, but we didn't have it yet, so we got it in 4th grade. Or I got it in 4th grade.
I got mine in 4th grade as well, but I'm a year older than her, so it wasn't the same year. But I got mine in 2022, I think.
What about you, Stella?
I got mine in 4th grade, the first year after I moved here. And it hasn't really changed over the years. I still have the same accommodations.
So, Caroline, did yours change?
Yeah, some things were added and some things were taken away. Like next year, school year in Buffalo, I'm gonna have snapping instead of fidgeting because fidgeting is important, but I like to snap quietly like this. And my teacher actually gave me these things where you rub your fingers together on it, and it helps simmer me down.
So, Stella, did yours? Oh my goodness. Gigi, did yours change?
Yeah. I got hitting tables added to my 504, and I also got fidgets taken because I don't really need them. I just like pulling my hair ties.
Gigi, what's the difference between an IEP and a 504?
Okay, well, an IEP I've heard is mainly for like people with autism or learning disabilities, and 504s are mainly for mental disorders with like ADHD, PTSD, OCD, all of that stuff. Those are mainly for like extra time, like test stuff and stuff like that for classes, and IEPs are more for learning disabilities and autism.
How about you, Stella?
The difference between a 504 and an IEP can be difficult to depict because while a 504 can be for mental disabilities, an IEP is more for learning disabilities. So basically, an IEP accommodates people with things like autism or Down syndrome, but a 504 can also accommodate people with OCD, PTSD, ADHD, and things like that.
Okay, how about you, Emma?
I don't. Do you?
Huh?
Do you know?
Not really. This is my first time hearing about IEP, but I'm happy to learn about it.
Yeah, me too.
Do any of your guys' friends have 504s that you know of?
No.
Unfortunately, not enough kids who need them have them because not enough parents know to get them resources. So not a lot of people I know actually have a 504 unless they have severe problems.
How about
No,
you,
I
Emma?
don't.
I know one kid who 504 is like bigger than mine. Like he has more accommodation to it. Like he could go like if he needs to go, he could like do his work in the office instead of the outside hallway, or he can walk around during class, or he's allowed to go get water anytime he wants down the hall to go on a walk. But okay. Is there anything else you guys want to put on the 504 subject?
I think teachers should have like a big like meaning to talk more about 504s than just the small meeting that counselors have with parents and kids.
Okay. What about you, Stella? Anything
I don't
else?
really think there's anything to add.
What about you? About anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and wait for the next video.
Bye.
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 Hi, welcome to the 17th Street podcast, and today we're going to be talking about equality versus equity. And today I have joining me will be...
I'm Emma.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Gage.
I'm going to be educating them on what equality is and what equity is and why they're different. So, equality is everyone having the same treatment, but equity is everyone having what they need. So, equality would be if everyone got the same peanut butter and jelly sandwich, that would be equality. But if a kid was allergic to peanut butter and they got a different sandwich, that would be equity, because that would give everyone what they needed. So equality is more focused on everyone being treated the same no matter their gender, race, or sexuality. So it's like, for example, the difference between how people are treated because of how they look and how people are treated if they look better than that person. So, for example, I've had people, I've seen them, they just wear comfortable stuff and they're assumed to be like stupid and like not cool. But then there's these kids who are just absolutely rude and they're dressed up in like designer clothing from head to toe and everyone wants to be their friend. So that is an example of what equality would be like what equality isn't. But what equality is just being friends with everyone or treating everyone the same just because they're just people. They're literally just people. So have you guys ever experienced any like inequalities or differences?
No, I haven't.
I don't think I have either.
I think I might have had a little bit when I was younger. In my school, I did some things in the past that I wish I didn't. And people still talk about it now, which I think is dumb because it was in the past. And it's been years and years.
So experiences I've had was like in my class, I'm in a class that's I was in a class that was a little more towards rich people, and I'm not rich, but I'm not poor either. So I don't dress up every day like the rest of the kids in my class do. Sometimes I wear shorts and an oversized hoodie. Sometimes I wear my skirt and a flannel. Like, it just doesn't matter. But a lot of people talk to me on a day-to-day basis based on what I'm wearing. Like, if I'm wearing an oversized hoodie, I've noticed people kind of just ignore me. But if I'm wearing something that they would consider cute or presentable, they actually try to interact with me. I remember one year in 5th grade, I had an argument with one of my friends, and I started to sit with these other girls in my class, and it was good for a while, and then I started to be different from them, and they kind of shunned me out from the group, and yeah. But moving on to equity, an example of what equity is not is I, for example, have a gluten allergy, and everyone at my school has access to free lunches. But sometimes those lunches aren't gluten-free. So what equality is everyone getting the same thing, but equity would be me getting a gluten-free lunch, which is what they do. But what equity is not would be me having to pick through the things and see what is gluten-free instead of eating a full nutritious lunch. Have you ever experienced inequity or anything like that?
No.
I have not.
Have you ever seen, like, not happening to yourself, but have you ever seen something that you thought was unfair?
Yes.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what happened?
Okay. Somebody was playing a game, and they always would like give it to the player that always would do the best. And it was totally not fair because like other people wanted to go, but then they just wanted to keep giving it to the player that always does good, but they don't ever let anybody else shine. So like I thought it was unfair. That's like one of the moments I thought was like really unfair because like that's not past it, you know.
I have experienced the same thing like her when someone like was really good at the game. They would always like give it to them and not really give anyone else a try to be good at the game. And I thought that was really unfair.
Actually, I have experienced the same thing as them too. So, like how she explained, and it only went to the best player and didn't give other people a chance.
So I've experienced that too. Like if we play a game, if I'm not as good as someone else, that person cuts in front of me and just continues on playing and playing and playing, and I just never get to go. But another thing that I want to talk about is the treatment between boys and girls, and it's not just favored towards the boys, sometimes it's favored towards the girls, and I've experienced that. Have any of you ever experienced a challenge between boys and girls?
Yes, I have. Wait, before we get to that topic, how did that make you guys feel? Like, when you were being, How did y'all feel about that? Deja, how were you feeling?
How I felt is like, I felt like I didn't matter her and nobody cared for a turn.
Or even just saying it, like, how does that make you feel?
It doesn't feel great because the people are not getting treated right for like what they're wearing, what they have on their feet, how they're talking.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels the same for me too. It doesn't feel like, it feels like, come on, like, let somebody else shine, you know? Yeah.
So, what were those experiences you had like, with boys versus girls?
So, when it was like boys versus girls, it would always be like the boys would win, but only because like some of the girls weren't really trying because they were just like saying that, oh, we're gonna lose though because they're boys, but it really doesn't really matter to me because it's just a game.
My experience is same as hers. Like most people, like in my class, most people think on the girls' team that they're always gonna lose. Like if we're playing like boys v girls, like sports, they're like some of them are not really trying because they always think they're gonna lose, which is not always true.
I think that separation or not separating, like not mixing boys and girls, like in dodgeball, my school, they mixed the boys and girls, but before I entered middle school, it was like one girls on one side and boys on one side, and I don't think that's fair because girls should be treated the same as boys.
So I've experienced a couple of things with boys versus girls. Like at the end of the day, the boys' locker room door is propped open because that's where they keep some of the gym equipment. And the girls' locker room is about as big as this room. But I would say the boys' locker room is about as big as this top floor. Their locker room is huge. There's less boys in the school overall. There's like 14 boys in my class, and then there's like almost 18 girls that are crammed into this little space. So we're stuck changing squished together, while the boys have stalls and like access to things that the girls don't. Another thing is, for the sports, there's usually a flag football team and a basketball team for my school. And in order to get any girls' sports, we had to formally write the principal a letter to ask for girls' flag football, to ask for cheerleading, to ask for anything for the girls. And it's really kind of unfair to notice how the boys get anything they want and need, and the girls just kind of get thrown to the side and expected to handle themselves.
So which one would that be out of those two?
That would be equality, treating everyone the same. Another thing that's treated differently between boys and girls is, I know some boys are treated differently than girls, and it's not just the girls who are treated unfairly. Some of the teachers favor the girls because they notice how the school treats the girls, so they kind of favor the girls, which I think is still unfair to the boys because I think everyone should be treated the same. So, yeah.
I agree 100%. I agree.
Have you ever felt like someone's prosecuted you for something that you didn't really do, or just because of how you look?
Oh, say it again, sorry.
Have you ever felt like someone has purposefully target you or like get you in trouble for how you look, how you talk, or what you say?
Probably when I do something stupid in class. Like, it would be like not mainly targeted to me. It would be like Cause like they would get aggravated, but like it wouldn't be like exactly just because they want to do it. It's probably because like reasonable wise, but not purposely. Like yeah. What you, Eric?
I haven't seen it towards me, but I have seen it towards other people in my class.
Yeah, probably. I've been targeted for how I look and my OCD and Tourette's. So, it's not like a really big deal, but still hurts.
Yeah.
When you've seen people get judged or had it happen to you, how do you think, if you could have, how would you have handled it?
Oh, me? Say it again? Sorry.
If you had seen or had happened to you, what would you do in that moment to try to get them to understand that you're not any different from the rest of people and you should just be treated like a person?
If I have seen somebody that was like getting picked on, basically, you're saying? Like,
Yeah.
Like if I would see that, I would probably be like the bigger person and try to like stop it from getting any further, or like, yeah, just probably just stop it. Yeah.
I would try to do the same thing as her, is try to stop the arguing or whatever, like the picking's going on.
I would probably I'd just pass it along because my school, well, people take small things seriously. So I know like a fight would probably break out, so I just pass it along.
If you had the chance to talk to everyone who made choices for your school, what would you say to them and how would you try to change this?
I don't really know. Do you guys know?
No.
I would probably say, hey, can we help the school because it has a terrible community. All you guys care about is the teachers and their well-being, and they don't really care about the kids.
Going off of what Gage said, at my school it's kind of the same thing. They treat the teachers with complete respect. The teachers can break the rules. I've seen teachers be scrolling on their phone while their kids are doing work in their books. I've encountered people who are wearing something that I couldn't be allowed to wear because of the dress code, but teachers are. And it's like teachers are treated differently because they're adults, but if the kids have to do a certain thing, then I think the adults should have to do it too.
Yeah.
How would you feel if you were wearing something that said wow and someone else was wearing something that said something like supposedly cooler than that word? How would you feel if people were not talking to you and only surrounding that person?
I wouldn't feel so great. I would probably feel jealous, and I would probably want to be like them. But yeah.
I think it's stupid to base someone off of what they're wearing and how their clothes are and stuff, because it's only the outside of the person. You don't really know the inside.
I feel like that's just selfish, and it's not great to judge someone off of what they're wearing.
Have you ever been in a classroom that has been majority treated better towards one person or treated better towards a majority group?
No.
Yes. In 4th grade, there were these 3 girls that were treated way better than everyone else. They would get extra credit on their work for their grade, and they would get better, the teacher would give them bracelets, free bracelets, free headphones, and they were getting treated way better.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah. This reminds me of a person in this year's class. She was very rude. She would say bad words. The teacher wouldn't care, and she's like, stop, because she doesn't care what the teacher says, and she's like, she just walks out of the classroom, and she doesn't have anything like disabilities or anything. She's just like, and the teacher doesn't care, and she's hit people before right in front of the teacher, including me, and the teacher is like, just don't bother her because she's doesn't care what the teacher says, and she knows that like she would have to call like probably police to get her down to detention or something.
I feel as if teachers and students shouldn't have favorites, and that pretty much concludes our discussion today. So thank you for watching, and wait for the next video. Bye.
Bye.
Make sure you subscribe, guys.
Subscribe, turn on that bell,
Peace.
and
We're best friends.
follow. Bye.
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 Bye, guys.
Bye.